do, y'all? We back with another episode of Wrestling with Xotics. It's your boy, the franchise kid, franchise Jerry, and I got my dog with me.
I think I need to feed you water.
And we're going to be discussing SD this week. Smackdown basically started with Sami Zayn trying to get on the same page with the Bloodline, but it looked like Roman just wasn't having it. Sami was trying to shake him up, and he just blatantly walked past him and act like he wasn't even there. And at this point, I don't know what to think myself. Sami really ain't been on shit, ain't really been doing shit, and I feel like Roman's just starting to look childish. You know what I'm saying? And he's being female-like with all these emotions and shit. Like, bro, you should be focused on something else. Why are you sitting here focusing so tough on Sami Zayn?
I can't tell you, bro. I feel like it's getting to the point. You're completely right. SmackDown was weird, and it was attributed to Roman displaying these petty emotions towards Sami as if Sami didn't do everything you asked him to do. It's getting to the point now. Sami, how can you expect to have World Heavyweight Champion aspirations if you're dick sucking or...
I feel like his aspirations have went out the door. Like, he subjected himself to only being able to wrestle 4 mid-card titles.
By doing this, huh?
By doing this and just his past history. His past history tells us that he's just not
what they're looking for.
What they're looking for as a champion. That's just what it is.
Yeah. And I have to agree with you. These championship aspirations are looking very slim for Sami. Speaking of championship aspirations, bro, it was the newly formed tag team of Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, the Banger Bros, taking on a well-known old tag team machine as the Viking Raiders. And I just think it was very off-putting that these two men, who are basically a hodgepodge thrown together tag team, beat this well-oiled machine known as the Viking Raiders. Like, these are former tag team champions. They should have the advantage going into this match. And automatically, once the match began, I was like, this is going to Drew and Sheamus. Why? Because the commentators highlighted these are 2 former World Heavyweight champions. So what is the fuck is the tag team titles to them? And I hate when WWE does this because you're kind of undermining your tag team division. It says, as long as you're a major wrestler on your own and you have a lot of accolades, if we throw you together with someone that has accolades that can quote unquote mirror you, you will beat the current tag team champions or anybody who's invested, who eats, sleeps, and breathes tag team wrestling. Yeah. Which is very disrespectful, because why should the Viking Raiders have to put over 2 stars who've been put over to the moon? They've been the face of the companies in their own respective times. You know what I mean? So I thought that was kind of weird. But what do you think about the match overall?
Man, this fucking Moonrock and Wax got this shit burning crazy. But I was hyped on the match, honestly. This was a great way to start SmackDown. But if we being honest, the Viking Raiders should have won that match. What the fuck is the point of repackaging them if you're just going to have them losing the matches that they need to win to get belts? It's asinine, asinine. It don't make no fucking sense. But anyway, Drew and Sheamus will face the winners of Lotharios versus Hit Row. And we'll have more coverage on that match. But no matter how that fucking plays out, Drew and Sheamus are going to end up dog walking them. So we know how this is going to end. I feel like at the end, it's going to be them versus Imperium. And Imperium will win this tag team tournament bullshit. But at the same time, Sheamus and Drew tag teaming and taking out the whole tag division,
it's a bad look in a couple months.
It's a terrible look, bro, and especially when you're trying to build up that fucking division.
That's what I'm saying. It's awkward.
Like, come on, bro. What are you guys doing?
Following that travesty that happened to the Viking Raiders, Sami had a discussion between him, Roman Reigns, and the Wise Man. Now, bro, you already mentioned that this is getting weirder and weirder, but just off of this interaction alone, Sami is outcasted from the Bloodline. Even if he doesn't want to act like that, let's say Kevin Owens will try to call him out on it and be like, "You're outcasted." You know, Sami's gonna be like, "No, I'm not, bro. You just don't understand how they operate." But yeah, it's like
they might even play the race card.
Yeah,
I'll be like, "Cause he's white."
I'm just like, at this point, the Wise Man is white, but they don't treat him like that. The Wise Man is turned on Roman.
But that's because the Wise Man has so much history with Roman's family. So that's why he's slipping and sliding and getting away. When they were accusing Sami, I was all like, how come y'all don't be on Paul's ass? He the one that still will go and rock with Brock Lesnar. Like, let Roman come down with leukemia. That's not gonna stop fucking Paul from getting another job. I promise you. And Paul doesn't look like he's gonna retire anytime soon.
Get the mouthpiece. He's not trying to retire.
Hell, fuck no.
He could, bro. He basically helped Brock. Yeah, I know we love that Brock shows personality now and all that, but there's times when he couldn't master that, and Paul Heyman was the perfect pacifier to solve that problem. You know what I mean?
Correct.
So with that being said, Roman is gaslighting Sami again. He's pretty much saying that it's Sami's fault because why the fuck would you even mention Kevin Owens' name in my presence? I'm not going to deal with this. Why do I need to run every plan by you? And that leads into what I said last week. He was trying to get in Sami's head, and I knew he would be displeased by Sami's behavior, even though he did chime along afterwards. At first, he wasn't on the same accord as the Usos and Solo. He kind of watched for the most part, and I knew he was going to get in trouble for that shit. That doesn't show your allegiance to the bloodline. That shows you have remorse for Kevin Owens. And if you really acknowledge Roman as your tribal chief, that you should be like, he's coming for your WWE Championship. You know what I mean? And Roman's paying attention to that.
I gotta say, bro, this was the weirdest display of emotion that I've ever seen from Roman Reigns. And it just made me feel uncomfortable. Roman was on some bipolar ass shit. Roman was so mad, he even went beside himself and kicked Sami out of the bloodline. Do I have a problem with that? Not necessarily. Do I have a problem with Roman tripping on Sami over just constant little shit when Sami's out here basically putting his life on the line for you guys every fucking week? Sami's taking so many bullets for the fucking bloodline, bro. It's insane. So for Roman to constantly still be over here on his nuts instead of worrying about his number one contender is like, it's annoying because it shows you where his head is at. How Roman's been acting is just real feminine to me, bro. And I'm happy that he kind of kicked Sami out the bloodline. Great. If I was Sami Zayn, you better take that shit and run. Because you stay in the bloodline, I promise you an ass whooping will come out of this. At this point, I feel like that's all they're really saving him to do.
Yeah, because he's touched all the other realms as far as he can go. Popularity, catchphrases, merchandise. Damn near he's on the
He's making them money.
Yeah, he's making the money, and he's damn near on the cover of Elimination Chamber. He's on the seats already. So Sami is putting ass in seats, but it's like we've crossed every other realm besides him getting the actual ass whooping. And like one of the core foundations why we fuck with the bloodline the way we do is seeing how Roman did Jay. And Jay's been itching for him to be do somebody else to get that. But you notice how Jay's been chilling and Roman's been turning up on Sami? It's because he knew it controls Jay to watch what happens with Sami. But now Sami thinks he's in the clear, and I have to show you that this mental mastery can happen to you too. You're not in the fucking clear. If I'm doing that to my blood, what the fuck I'm doing to you? Especially I'm hearing all these people, Sami, I'm the tribal chief. I'm trying to hear Roman. I acknowledge you. I'm not hearing none of that. None of that shit rhymes with S. So it's about time for him to display that shit, you know? Switching gears to something a little bit more upbeat, even though it's pretty dark. LA Knight came out. He cut a promo. Yeah. While he whipping this scrub's ass. I didn't even know who this man was.
Ray Jones, bro. Respect that man.
Ray Jones is a bum. He got dropped in 2 minutes. Yeah. And then LA Knight had to deal with throughout this 2 minute match. 2 minutes. He saw like 30 Bray Wyatt interruptions. And the whole time I'm thinking to myself, like, you just got rain on LA's parade. He just cut that great promo, whooping the scrubs. That's a tune-up match, of course, just showing you what he because obviously he wants to get in the ring, unlike Bray. When we seen Bray in the ring, and I feel like Bray kind of confused everybody, but I believe this is leading into him displaying the multiple personality disorder that he's kind of shown, and he's gonna give us like a new age Mick Foley, you know, somebody at the drop of a dime is gonna be either the Fiend or the Eater of the Worlds or this current Uncle Howdy type Bray Wyatt version. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
What do you think about this match type promo segment? It was all kind of weird.
Two things I didn't like about the match with the scrub. One, it was the scrub. That's not a tune-up match. That is I'm trying to get clout and show off this little move set that I got that I actually don't got. But and make it look like I got it. And why do I say that? Because that brings me to the second thing I didn't like about this match. That raggedy ass stunner that he did to win the match. I was like, bro, that shit just looks so drunk. One thing that I really liked about this in general, though, that Bray brought back the Firefly Funhouse. I thought that was real interesting. I feel like that's going to add a whole nother aspect of what's to possibly come at Rumble. So I don't know exactly who's going to show up at Rumble. I'm really excited just to see what's up with that. Apparently, LAK opened up a door he has no idea about. You know what I'm saying?
That is a double down on exactly what we both just said. We don't know who's going to show up, and I really believe this is a new age Mick Foley, bro. Just the only way I could really see Bray. It's so smart. I kind of don't know why we limited him to just being one person or just like.
Who's your favorite Bray Wyatt?
Okay, I'm be honest with you. This is how it works. Like you said, that Firefly Funhouse merchandise.
Oh yeah,
Number one. Just even you hated that shit and I loved it.
yeah.
Because I'm entertained. I like to be entertained. That shit was entertaining. Just from the fact of Rambling Rabbit, he's mocking, saying, yeah, he's talking, doing LA's catchphrases and shit. That shit is just so funny. That shows you how Bray can get into a character mode and he can puppeteer and make, he can be funny when it's not him, but that's it. That's a product of him.
I feel like that shit is cool to do every once in a while.
Every once in a while. So I'll say that is like my second favorite Bray Wyatt because I didn't know how he was gonna come back from consistently losing. The third is the Fiend. The Fiend is not like that. I consider that a whole other entity because he still was champion at that, but it was completely off the whole time because they waited so long to give him just due, and he had to do all this extra shit like wear a mask and look like a damn near real life boogeyman, but demonic as fuck, just so they could push him. And I just don't.
He kind of stole Finn Balor's flow with that.
Exactly, they stole Finn Balor's flow and gave him real because like you got dreads, and you know what, the fans like you a little bit more, and we've been fucking you over way more. You know, and your body won't give out because you're built to last.
Yeah, because notice how we ain't seen the demon Finn Balor since he lost that, what was it, SummerSlam a couple years ago?
Because they used it, because they're like, Finn, you can rely on your talent. We're gonna sacrifice your really good character because we ain't giving you no big chips, and we don't see working out. So he got it right now. You ain't never put up no numbers with the merchandise like him.
Oh
but
yeah.
My first and favorite Bray Wyatt is the Eater of Worlds. The Eater of Worlds is the best run possible.
That's the one where he comes out with the Hawaiian shirt, white pants,
and he comes out with his little cane, his lantern, and he tells them we're here. And that Bray,
I fuck with that.
That Bray is the best Bray. You know why?
Yeah.
He's killing it on the mic. He still has some good victories. But
multi-heavyweight champion.
Multi-heavyweight champion. That's what I'm saying too. They even usually when someone has a good run like that for multi-years, but they're still held down, they don't get to hold the championship, and he still was able to do that towards the end, and that's when they really put the nail in the coffin when he had the championship.
And not just once. That wasn't like a flash in the pan. Like he held it a couple more times after that.
Yeah, exactly. So like it was kind of crazy that sparked him getting multiple runs because he won it in 2017, even though he lost it at WrestleMania to Randy. It just was the storytelling. Like, wow, we really got to see Bray get, and I didn't even think they were gonna do it. So that is the best Bray.
My favorite Bray Wyatt is the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt. He come out with the swag, got the lantern, everybody in the fucking crowd got their iPhones up, and he just bring a whole different feel to it. Now, my second one would have to be this current Bray Wyatt that came back. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like the character that he brought back was more true to him. It is him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and he's like kind of showing you a little glimpse of what Bray Wyatt is kind of like outside of wrestling. Like, he's still a good dude and is cool, but you know, just like the typical person, yeah, don't cross me or I'm gonna have to show you that dark side. So that brings me to the third Bray Wyatt that I like, and that's the Fiend. The reason why I like the Fiend is because Bray Wyatt was able to create another scary character, and not only that, but bring prestige and create a whole aura and background and everything for him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he wasn't just another Boogeyman or like The Undertaker or Finn Balor. Like, no, he had his completely own lane. And in that lane, he was able to obtain multiple world championships. My hat off to him for the creativity, but ain't nothing like the original.
Next, we have Los Lotharios taking on Hit Row. And this match, for me, bro, I wasn't fucking with it like that. I don't really like seeing Hit Row as a tag team because I feel like like ever since that they came back without Swerve, they've been missing. Like I always often watch them and be like, something's missing from this tag team. They keep doing the original three, like y'all are trying to say this is all that matters, and y'all don't realize that y'all needed Swerve. Like he had the experience and like the real. Like imagine him leading y'all and having y'all as the heavies, and just like there would be so much less pressure on y'all. But all I see is y'all, not where y'all need to be, where y'all think y'all can get tag team championship.
Swerve went to AEW and did it right. That's what he did. Hit Row, you're definitely right on that, bro. They should not even be a tag team right now. What's the female's name that's in that group? We don't
B
even know.
Fab, I
B
believe. I
Fab.
believe.
What the fuck is the point of her? She don't wrestle. She don't really say much. She just crack jokes and be in the back.
And be the ha ha kiki kiki.
That's taken away from Top Dollar and the other nigga. And who is the other dude? I don't even remember his name off the top of my head.
I believe I can remember it, bro, just because it's so outlandish. His name is Ashante the Adonis.
He's fired.
Dude, he's fired for that name, bro.
If we being honest, Top Dollar is the only one that really deserves to be in the WWE.
He says star potential. The only thing, my only critique is, I feel like you need to know your moveset a little better and really like
and lose weight.
You need to go to and you need to deal with somebody who has your body type. Like I don't know, like who's somebody you could say
the Big
Show, or like I know I want someone like a little bit shorter. Like okay, for example, you need to talk to Bray, pull him aside when he's in his good phase, his good character.
Shit.
When he's in that Bray that's not trying to fuck you up mode, and be like, Bray, how do you maneuver in the ring because you're so unique, but at the same time you make your size work for you, and it doesn't look like there's any real limit on what you could do. Because honestly, he's only body type compared to Top Dollar, and there's nothing I don't feel like Bray Wyatt could do. If Bray Wyatt wants to jump over the top rope, I feel like he could really do that shit.
If I was Top Dollar, I would be trying to talk to Taker because Taker is about his height or slightly taller. He doesn't have all that stomach, but that's what Top Dollar could slim down to and be able to move like Taker. Because Taker, he walks on ropes, he jumps over the ropes, he does a lot of athletic shit. You feel me? So like, I feel like Top Dollar could definitely learn from him. You feel me?
You're right, bro, 100%. But they ended up beating Los Lotharios, which I didn't see. I really expect too much because WWE's forcing them on us super tough, and I'm just at the point where I'm like, this is like a one-way street with a dead end. Because you know where the street is going, and you know the dead end is coming because they're not winning tag team championships. They already had a match and they lost, and that was their best showing in a loss.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you overall think about this?
Man, Hit Row stole that victory. And like I said earlier, it didn't matter who was going to win this match. Hit Row's funeral will be next week on Friday Night SmackDown when they go against Drew and Sheamus. Next up, we got the queen of WWE, and I'm not talking Zelina. I'm talking about the queen, Charlotte Flair. The queen addressed the musty-ass peasant in Sonya Deville and told her annoying ass the only way she's getting a title match is if she wins that Rumble. And we all know she won't be doing that. I want to see someone actually do Sonya Deville bogus, though. Because she always running her fucking mouth. What you think about this shit, bro?
Honestly, I'm getting tired of her because she seems to always weasel her way out of matches. She seems to always figure out a way to just come up short. Yeah. And all I hear from her is yep. I deserve to be the best. I should be the champ. I don't get enough opportunities.
She gets a lot of opportunities.
She gets the most, bro. And it's like
especially when she was
Yeah,
GM.
that's what I'm saying. I don't even know how she weased her way into this GM position that she was in on TV.
Right.
It was so random. I was like, why of all people? She's so bland. She doesn't even have the personality to carry herself where she's like, oh, I don't need to see you wrestle. You're
I
just
think WWE was just like
grasping at straws.
was looking like, okay, she is hateable. And we love hateable GMs. Just make decisions that
Like very
people don't actually
questionable.
want to see. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I feel like that was the lane that they wanted to go in. And once that they noticed that she was just being too much, too extra, that's when they fired her ass from that. And it's just only Adam Pearce. Speaking of Adam Pearce, what do you think about the job that he's been doing in his GM spot?
He is awkward. Every time he talks to the microphone, I can even tell you, people don't know how to feel. They really don't want to boo him, but he doesn't make them feel anything else. And it's like you're just saying lame shit. Like even when I remember when he cussed out Ronda Rousey. This was being lame. I knew he was gonna get that done to him because he was just being flat out lame. Ronda has dealt with people in power and never put their hands on them, but you're just saying the lame ass shit. And
Yeah.
I
You're
believe
making her have to put hands
I
on you.
believe that he called her a bitch. And I'm just like, you know, of all people, that is not someone you're supposed to be calling that.
Right.
And so I'm like, you definitely just tripping out. So I don't really feel too much for him. John Laurinaitis was a better GM because the fact of his people power bullshit he knew how to make you feel like, motherfucker, why is that a catchy thing, but you're using it the wrong way?
Yeah, and it's
This
just
shit is basically like rhetoric, like it's sarcastic because you don't really give a fuck about the people, but you're gonna say like it's for us and that's what we want to
I
see.
hated John
And we,
Lord. John
nice,
Laurinaitis.
yeah, John.
Fucking hated John.
He almost died in Tokyo. That's why or Japan. That's why he has a voice box like that. It's kind of fucked up, but you didn't make yourself very likable, so I don't feel sorry for you, John.
Up next on SmackDown, we got the wise man, Paul Heyman, giving Roman Reigns some game. And he's basically telling him, you rather have Sami piss out the castle than piss in. And in Roman's case, it's best to be cool with Sami so that way he don't click up with KO and fuck around and Roman find out. You know what I'm saying? He could possibly lose a belt or maybe even both. So I strongly agree with the wise man. How about you, bro?
Honestly, bro, it's the same thing because you got to think smart in this game. It's a long game. It's a marathon, not a sprint. I just feel like Roman's not operating on all gears, bro. Like how you mentioned that he's not fully focused.
Mm-hmm.
It's showing because he's so like. Why are we seeing more Sammy storyline than KO storyline? You know what I'm saying? And he's the number one contender. That's also why I know KO is not winning. Like he's not winning this shit because he's not
Mm-hmm.
even on screen enough. They have him as a real threat because his in-ring ability. But that's also why I believe Sammy could be a sleeper in some facet to somehow be in that main event picture because he's just on the TV too much with Roman.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And they have that chemistry, so it's like in a catch 22, how we know ass whooping comes with this, the ass whooping can come with some success for Sammy because he got to fucking get back, like how he had to get back when KO turned on him. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean?
Yeah. Man, I just really don't want to see Roman versus Sami Zayn though. Like, not at any point have I wanted to see Roman versus Sami Zayn. I just don't understand the point of it. We know the outcome of that already. You know what I'm saying? Roman's gonna win. What's the point? Why don't we have Sammy go and fight Gunther and pick up a win like that? Imagine the crowd reaction when Sammy wins the IC belt from him, bro. They would go fucking nuts. And it would just make the story even better. So I just don't understand what would be the point of that. I also want to touch on the repackaging of Lacey Evans for the fourth or fifth. I don't know. I'm losing count. She keeps getting repackaged every 3 fucking months, okay? And it's ignorant as hell. Lacey Evans is a top fucking talent. She's low key cold as hell, bro. I was enjoying her on NXT. She was putting on great matches. And I expected way more from her when she got to the main roster. And I feel like her losing her first title match is what really sent her career on a spiral down. You know what I'm saying? And I hope that this new persona leads her to a championship. I see her being just as good as Becky Lynch, Charlotte, all of them, bro. And she has the move set to back it up, and she has mic skills. She's just honestly not a merchandise seller. But Charlotte isn't. Becky is. Bianca ain't out there selling merch, but she's the champ, so they buy merch. So, but it's like it's not like everybody else is selling merch hella crazy and whatnot. So there's nothing wrong with Lacey Evans, and you guys just keep repackaging her is diminishing her character. It's making everybody think like, what's wrong with her? And ain't nothing wrong with her. And my advice to Lacey Evans would be, if they ain't getting you right, you better take your ass over there to AEW, because they can definitely use a Southern Belle like herself.
I can agree with you on some of those things, bro. I feel as though she does have a good move set. She can be somewhat of a top talent, but I just feel she might not ever leave to go to AEW just because she's not really like well known wrestler like that to really take that risk. You feel me? And I feel like she don't have that.
Well, it don't even have to be AEW, bro. I just want to see
And
her.
I don't see her leave, and I see her getting either turned out like Dana Brooke or finally paying off one of these repackages.
She's not gonna end up like Dana Brooke. She's too nice for that. She's way too nice for that. If she was a clown and like really be out here making an ass of herself and shit like that, like Dana Brooke, then I would agree with you. But she's not gonna do that, bro. But I just want to see her go anywhere and hold that main company belt, because she deserves it, bro. She's nice as hell, for real.
Can't fault you on that one, bro. The next match we had on SmackDown was the Brawling Brutes taking on Imperium. And this was a very hard-hitting and technical match. Of course, the Brawling Brutes brought the hard-hitting side, while Imperium backed it up technically, because they're very technically sound and they like to break people down. And they're not necessarily ring generals, because there's only one ring general, but you could say they're ring apprentices. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're your pick to win this. What do you think about their showing in this match?
Man, this was a great victory over the Brutes. They redeemed themselves after losing to them a few months back. And like you said, Imperium's my pick. And I'll even go a step further and say that I can actually see them knocking off the Usos and taking the SmackDown belts off of them. Because I feel like the closer they get to WrestleMania, belts will be split back up and we'll finally have some order in this bitch.
I can completely agree with you. It's creeping up over a year of the Usos holding down the championships. Yes, it's been 500 and something days, but they've only acquired the Raw championships. I want to say late May, WrestleMania Backlash. So if they're able to hold that, that'll be another accomplishment for the ones. So, following segment we had on WWE SmackDown was the Tribal Chief summoning the honorary, or maybe the former honorary Sami Zayn. And bro, he's just toying with his strings at this point. Roman's a puppeteer, Sammy's Pinocchio, and Roman is basically trying to see how far his nose can go before he just beats his ass. He's like Sammy, he's trying to get Sammy to lie to him, or just get Sammy to fuck up in some fashion so he can just yell at him. It reminds me too much of Jay.
It's like, bro, you doing all this extra shit. This shit is getting OD. OD as fuck. Overdoing it to the max. I'm like, Roman, focus on your competitor, bro. That's how you know WWE has burnt this man out, to where he doesn't even look at his competition for beef anymore. He looks for that shit inside of his family. Like, I know I'm gonna beat him, so I'm tripping on you.
You're trying to come for the throne.
It's like, bro, you're focused more on that than going against Kevin Owens. Now, we know that he's going to beat Kevin Owens. It's going to be a great match, but he's going to beat Kevin Owens.
It's going to be an easy call.
But at the same time, can you at least act like you give a fuck?
Don't even talk about.
Don't even really talk about
Sammy, why the fuck you brought him up? Why the fuck you brought him up?
Like, come on.
I don't have to deal with this. I come to work every week, and when I do come in and fucking got to deal with this shit, no, Sammy.
Yeah, bro. Like, I feel like this shit is OD, bro. If I was Sammy, I wouldn't even try to be in the bloodline no more, bro. Because what's the point? You're not winning no belts. All you doing is dick riding. Your ass don't hurt, nigga. Golly.
Oh shit. He said
So
nah.
it's crazy. Also, just got to remind you guys to tap in with Monday Night Raw this week. It's Raw's 30th birthday, and they're going to have a real good show. They got a bunch of legends on there, and they also got a few good title matches. Speaking of the Bloodline, the Usos will be putting their belts up against the Judgment Day. So that's also going to be a good match. Can't wait to see that. In other news, next week on SmackDown, we'll finally get to see Karrion Kross versus Rey Mysterio. Who do you think is gonna win that match, bro?
I feel as though Ray is gonna come off of a great momentum in the Royal Rumble, and I feel like somehow he's gonna beat Kane Cross. Now, we mentioned previously in podcast that we feel that Kane Cross should not lose to him, but I feel like he's gonna lose to him for some reason, just because he's barking up the wrong tree, and I think that that's gonna really derail his momentum, and he's gonna be fucked off officially. He's gonna be officially fired. Triple H is gonna be like, nah, yeah, Vince is kind of coming back to control. Shit is slipping up the grass. Hit Row's not looking too good. You're not looking too good. They might pull the plug, so I'm gonna just let you just rock because I gotta focus on
Yeah.
some positives. Like Bianca's part of my product. Some other shit that I can really be like
I would
concrete.
love for them to just like do a clear history on SmackDown and just clear Karrion Kross, hit Row, Lostarios, and just anybody else that just be lingering around the back, not amounting to shit. Just get them off the show and bring in a whole new plethora of wrestlers. Bring some people up from
Bring
NXT.
Carmelo Hayes.
Yeah, like let's really get SmackDown cracking again.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Ever since Shane stopped showing up on SmackDown, SmackDown has just always been teetering tottering on the ropes of good or bad. And it's either really good or it's really bad. You know what I'm saying? So I need some fucking order on this show.
I completely agree with you, bro.
Next up on SmackDown, we got the Batiman versus Phantasma.
Yeah.
What'd you think about this match, bro?
Oh my god, it was flaming. This match was flaming hot. It was just crazy to me to just see the MMM as they like to be known, even in the tag team match regarding number one contendership, because it's just outlandish to even see them in that facet. They don't have the moveset, nor do they provide real entertainment. Do I want to see them on the screen? Like
No, this niggas is freaky as hell.
they just do weird shit and focused on making water bottles look good and drinkable instead of trying to win championships. And that's why I knew Phantasma had this match in the bag. What do you think about this?
Oh man. My biggest takeaway from this match was Zelina was looking good as hell. I ain't gonna cap. And she had me rolling, bro, because she called the maximum male models disgusting. She was like, "They're just disgusting." The way she said it had me rolling. I was like, "Yeah, yeah, that's about right." I'm also hyped to mention that she'll be in the Royal Rumble this year, so we can finally see her wrestle. We ain't seen her wrestle in I don't know how long. But yeah, man, Phantasma won this match, and they'll face Imperium next week in the semifinals. And like I said, I feel like Imperium is going to be the ones to take one of them belts from the ones.
I could see that in a sense if that does happen, but I have the Banger Bros beating them for some reason.
Pause.
Pause. And the final segment on this week's SmackDown, and could be considered the main event, was the Tribal Chief finally acknowledging Sami in somewhat of a positive fashion. Now, as he said, and I've also doubled down on this whole SmackDown was weird and revolving around Sami and Roman's interaction. From the jump, he didn't acknowledge Sami, and it caused a mental block in Sami's head for some odd reason. And it's kind of getting to the point where I'm looking forward to seeing some type of payoff from this angle, bro. So, do you think it's gonna happen at this week's Royal Rumble, or it's a later date save?
I feel like we'll be able to better answer that when we get to see what Raw is looking like next week. Because I feel like that'll be telling of what's to come. next Saturday at the Royal Rumble. For me, I really hope that this pays off for Sami in a positive fashion, as in he gets a championship out of this. Not one of Roman's, but a championship. I don't care if you end up going to Raw and now you're going for the United States Championship. You can do it. The Bloodline is on both shows, so they can make that happen. I don't care, bro. I just want to see
The
Sami
belt or
have a
something.
belt. There's just no point in this shit if he's not getting a championship.
It is so sad.
What did you think about the contract signing, though?
That contract signing was a shit show. Roman told Sammy to go handle a bunch of shit that a fucking assistant can go do if you really need one, tribal chief.
That's how he's been treating Sami.
And like he's actually him treating him like an assistant pimp, and he's been having him go book flights, reservations, all this extra shit, not focused on being an active wrestler that he can use at his disposal. But he's too focused on being at Roman's disposal, and I feel like that's gonna bite him in the ass, leading to this contract signing. He walked out there with just the Wiseman and Solo. You think he had the enforcer? He was good. Kevin Owens somehow pulls off this miracle, sneaks up on him, stunners him, takes out Solo with a super kick. Then he hit a pop-up powerbomb through the contract table, which you know is per usual. A contract signing isn't a contract signing without somebody going throughout that table. You know, it's just like the pen meeting the paper. It just gotta happen. So I don't see how Roman's gonna fare going into this Monday Night Raw against Sami and with how he displays his behavior towards him. But I know for sure he's winning at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, man. I just hope that they don't try to use that against Sami because, like you said, Roman sent him on a fucking laundry list of bullshit to do. So that's why Sammy showed up late when he was out there getting beat up by KO. And that goes back into what I've been saying all night. Bro, if you was more focused on Kevin Owens, you wouldn't have been getting put through a fucking table. You wouldn't have been getting beat up and embarrassed to end the show. What did you think about SmackDown as a show this week, bro?
I want to say SmackDown was a solid 6.5. Just because I like this tag team tournament in a sense because it is making the tag team division the focal point of the show. But at the same time, like this weird shit going on between Sammy and Roman isn't really the best for business. I more so liked when the Bloodline was moving all in one accord. I was getting funny highlights. Everyone was acknowledging each other, and it was just kind of like it's funny little tidbits. Like why can't it still be Sammy making him kind of break character and laugh? Now it's kind of awkward. There's no laughing and just weird shit. You know, show used to make me feel like I was watching my favorite comedy or like let's say like the part that provides the sports entertainment was at an all time high. It was hitting on all cylinders. It was funny, dramatic, and making me feel all the emotions. Now it's just making me feel like you're just trying to play with my emotions. Does that make sense? Versus actually providing something that's concrete. Like you can't tell me seeing Sammy and Roman have positive back and forth wasn't way more entertaining than what we've seen today.
Yeah, man. Roman's so full of shit, his eyes is turning brown, bro. All that comes out his mouth is shit.
No
And
cap,
mind games.
no gaslight.
I thought SmackDown was decent. I do agree. I like them making the tag team division the focal point of the show, but I don't appreciate who they put in it.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is whack as
there's
hell.
a clear outcome. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre or Imperium like he's going for. I just say Sheamus and Drew McIntyre because they're the former World Heavyweight Champions, and I can see that they're planting to see that they've been screwed over with that pinfall victory that was taking place with the Usos. So that's why I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But honestly, Imperium does deserve it more, and I feel like they're the actual tag team that's young, can perform on the mic and in the ring to where it's believable for them to be dominant tag
Yeah.
team champions.
And I keep saying Imperium because, bro, we've been watching Drew and Sheamus go against the Usos and the Bloodline all fucking last year.
It's tiresome.
It's tiresome. I'm over that shit. We done seen it 1,000 times before, and they've lost 1,000 times before. And that's exactly what would happen again because we know that the Usos aren't dropping belts anytime soon.
Uh,
So it's like, why are we gonna keep watching them beat these motherfuckers.
What's
And
that?
I feel like even if the Usos do beat them, they should start to get a title opportunity for Roman because you beating former heavyweight champions. So that's usually how it works, right?
Yeah.
But I would give this show a 6 out of 10. It was cool, but it was more on the sports entertainment side. And the sports entertainment side, I wasn't rocking with because it's just all Roman Reigns bullshit and playing with Sami. Sami done showed you how much he rocked with y'all and put himself in front of bullets so many times for the bloodline, and he's still having to prove himself. And if I'm being honest with you, bro, I'm tired of seeing Roman as champion, and I'm ready for somebody else to be champion. It's time to wrap this shit up because I'm just over this shit, bro. I don't want to see Sami Zayn dick riding every week. I don't want to see Roman on a part-time schedule. And when he comes, he's getting staged wins. How much longer do you think that they're going to keep this shit up with him?
I don't see it going past WrestleMania, and if it does go past WrestleMania, he's fully into Brock Lesnar mode. He's gonna be getting the payback that Brock Lesnar got on him and how they treated Brock and making him lose to Brock consistently as much as he did to where now he pretty much is making up for all those years of losing to Brock and then the 2 year to 3 year span he's been champ. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I definitely could agree with you. It's time to switch it up. We need some new flair going on, but
Yeah, and I hated that they joined the belts together because then you just really stopped the flow of competition when the need for competition was at a high point. You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like they did that to expedite the fact that Roman is the greatest. Like they did that to more so, like I said, make up for the fact that he was losing a Brock as much as he did because they're like, okay, he was losing for one title in the line, now it's two, and he won now, so yeah, that to say, like it's
Hmm.
that type of shit. So I completely agree with you though, but
Yeah, this shit is just whack. And that's going to bring our show to a close. We appreciate everybody out there for smoking with your boys. Again, it's the franchise kid, franchise Jerry.
I think I need to feed you water. You know what it is.
Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe.
Share this shit with the world, y'all.
And turn on your post notifications so you know every time we drop a track. Peace.